So, hello everybody, I am AngryBird. Right, well, we are recording live on Twitch, but we are recording for YouTube. So, we will see how this goes. This is our first game. It's the first time I'm doing this. It's a new series on Twitch, Monday night casts. I'm going to record casts live on Twitch, so you get to see the games ahead of time. If you don't want to wait for them to come onto YouTube, you get to see them ahead of time, and that way everybody's happy. So tonight we have for you game number 1 of Gnef versus Herr, Steel Division 2 League Group number 1. Gnef's playing the 25th Panzergrenz and Herr's playing the 29th Guards Tank Corps. So Gnef's on Vanguard income, Herr on balanced income. If we have a quick look at Gnef's deck, let's see what we can spot. So a fair few number of recon vehicles and also some SPWs in Phase B. It'll be interesting how much he relies on those light vehicles, because Herr does have the IS-2s at his disposal for the 29th Guards Tank Corps. Now going balanced income kind of makes me think he's going to take them fairly late in the game, and possibly we can spot one in the bottom right corner right now, but we can't see that. We'll see that when we switch over to the deck. So I think one of them is out into play, and those IS-2s could be a big thing because the Stug 3s that Gnef has to rely on, he's got them in A phase and B phase. They really don't match up to those IS-2s, so he's going to be relying on the Pak 43s in B phase, potentially the Pak 40s with the help of probably side shots there, and then the ME410s really in the he's got 1 in A phase and 2 in B phase, so he's going to be totally reliant on those along with the Pak 43s. And we can see Gnef, he's got the Vanguard income. I think he's going to go very strong at the start of this game, and really against 29th Guards Tank Corps playing balanced income, I think that's probably the way to go. It'll be interesting to see whether he gets those Nebelwerfers out. Yeah, those Nebelwerfer 42s and the other artillery. It'll be interesting to see whether you know, they're used possibly against the IS-2s as well. Let's have a quick look now at Herr's deck, and I think we have that IS-2 in the bottom right corner. That is the IS-2 Comroti that he's got in A phase, so that is now out on the field, and it looks like he's targeting the bottom side of this map then with the IS-2 early on. Potentially it could go into the central, more centre area where it's very open, and IS-2s can obviously use their range, and really at range it's going to be real difficult for certainly any tanks for Gnef to counter those IS-2s. In terms of other units, well, I mean, the remaining IS-2s, he's got 3 in B phase and 6 in C phase, so he's definitely looking to take this game long, whereas Gnef will be looking to finish it early. In terms of those recon units, he does have the Su-57s that can counter them, although they also can be countered quite easily by those light recon vehicles. He has the M42 guns, and although they are double vetted, which gives the accuracy buff, but then it does limit the number to 4, and he's also got the PTRS 41s that could take them on, but it's potential he might get slightly overwhelmed. But we'll see how the game goes on. Right, the players have started. Let's get into the game. Let's look at the deployments. So it looks like Gnef potentially going strong in the north, and Herr potentially actually some attacking all across the map. Actually, some movement orders very far forward right the way through the map, so it's going to be interesting exactly how this one, oops, excuse me, I'm trying to get the there we go. It's going to be interesting how Herr proceeds on this one. If his forces get wiped out early on, then yeah, I mean, it could lead Gnef to get the chance. In comes the Flammenwerfers, and both driving completely past each other. The PTRSs are taken down by the 233s in the rear, and actually that allows Gnef to get straight into the town, although the AngryBird is already waiting for him. I don't think he's going to win out there, but yeah, surprised that PTRS didn't unload. Really odd, he just ran straight by each other. Herr unloads with more AngryBird and PTRS in the south. Gnef really not micro in that position at the moment, and yeah, across the looks like Gnef pushing forward in the north, but you know, his AngryBird are going to get taken out, or the Flammenwerfers should I say, are going to get taken out, but he's got a Pack 40 in the centre, but at the moment, where is Gnef going to make the ground? Potentially it's the southern side. His forces have been fairly decently taken out in that north area. So it looks like he's now pushing through this centre town. He's got the Flammenwerfers pushing forwards, and potentially he could make something here with the Stoss troop and the Ersatz troop behind, but they're running straight up the road right now. The AngryBird and Flammenwerfers are involved in the action, and it'll be interesting who wins out this battle. It's sort of 1 for 1 each at the moment, and I feel like obviously the supporting infantry from Gnef is finally going to make its way up, and this Strokey from Herr is probably going to go down. And Gnef seems like he's making progress in the south as well. The 2 AngryBird from Herr have gone down, and the PTRS is still there though. That could come into play a little later on. Gnef's got the Flak 38 waiting in the rear, and potentially could secure the skies for him early. Down goes the Strokey, and Gnef really in control of this centre town here. Robert reinforcing with another Strokey, but I feel like that's not quite enough right now. The 52Ps at the rear are going to have to do a decent job, and they can do so from range. And I feel like Gnef needs to push forward his light recon vehicles in the rear here, get them into the action, and here they go. Yeah, they are pushing forward now. Potentially could secure the central flag as well. He is currently 14-10 up, and he will win the game in 32 minutes, but plenty of time left in this. He does have a fairly decent amount of units in this south, and yeah, that'll be interesting whether he pushes forwards here. I can see, yes, potentially he is now going to be pushing further up, and we've got a Panzergrenführer coming in late to the party. So interesting that he didn't originally have one, but now he's made some ground. He's brought one in behind. The 250-10s are now pushing forwards, but they've got to be aware of this M42 gun in the rear, and yeah, potentially a few of them could go down before that M42 gun is discovered. Although doesn't have the most fantastic line of sight. It'll be interesting how this one develops. Although yes, there's this 3-gun further north, I did miss that, is now engaging, and that should do a decent job of taking these light recon vehicles out. They are engaging the ZIS 2-gun, and I have made it fall back, but Gnef also bringing an MG42 he's perhaps going to put inside the church tower, which could do some decent job at taking on the 52Ps, but I feel like at the moment Gnef making some ground in the centre. His attack in the top was bogged down, and he's bringing in another 2 Flak 38, so plenty of anti-air straight up, and it looks like he's now deciding to just hold those positions in the north, and it's the southern and central areas where he's going to try and make the ground. The Ersatz Truppen just tackling with the Sapperin. They're not going to win that one out in the forest, but oh, and the Pack 40 from the rear takes out the advancing Strelke, was that, in the Studebaker. So excellent little catch there from the Pack 40 in the rear, and Gnef's got quite a force set up in this central area. I'm surprised at the moment he's not holding this centre ground, but down goes the infantry and in comes the Panzergren. So another flag on his side. He's now up to a 15-9. We'll win the game in 14 minutes time, so Herr really needs to reinforce, but the IS-2 Komrotti is now finally coming into play. I think he must have diverted that further north. It was going further south at the start of the game, but he's now got it into play, and that will certainly give Gnef a bit of a headache in this central area. In the southern forest, he's now pushed through, and down goes the last Ognamachiki. There was Sapari in that forest, they've gone down as well, so Gnef's doing a very good job of just steadily advancing forwards. The M410 coming in, looking to target that IS-2. Will it take it down? Here comes the first shots. Unfortunately, no final kill, but certainly it is transmission damaged. May not hurt Herr so much because that's kind of where he's got it, and he's not going to move it massively from that position, but that ME410 might come around for another attempt. It looks like Gnef's pulling it back and then pushing it forwards again, so we'll get another attempt, and Herr needs to get either some anti-air or possibly some fighter coverage up. Frublord in the chat on Twitch makes a great point. Gnef has brought forward plenty of flat guns, and that's really to prepare for these ME410 runs coming in. Herr now responding with the Zenart 37s, but the fact that Gnef has brought up these flak 38s, it gives him that anti-air coverage in case Herr was to bring in a fighter to immediately counter this ME410, and it hasn't gone down a second time. The ME410 went for a second run, but didn't manage to take the IS-2. Will Gnef take it back again? Yes, he's going to take it back and give it the third attempt. He's still got 15 armor penetrating shells on that ME410, so maybe third time possibly is the charm at this run. And Gnef's put himself in a fantastic position at the start of this game. Will it go down on the third attempt? In comes the ME410, driver knockout, more bouncers, but no. This ME410 is struggling to take it down, but it still has more chances. It's only got 150 mils of penetration, so it needs to get in quite tight for that killing blow against the 160mm frontal armour. And the ME410 is now withdrawing. The Zenart 37mm inflicts just enough damage to force it back, and Herr investing in another one. But I have to say, at this point, with Herr pushed back, he's at a 15-9 disadvantage. He probably doesn't want to be investing in anti-air right now. It will stand him in good stead for the rest of the game, but he's probably desperate to reinforce this southern side with maybe some T-34 85s or some more infantry, but he's being forced to spend on these Zenart 37mm. And the IS-2 now, it is transmission damaged, but it is running out of armor penetrating shells as well, so it's only got two more shots left, and then it'll be out of armor penetration shells. So it'd be interesting to see if Herr brings in a support truck. I cannot remember actually whether he had one in A phase, so yeah, that IS-2 could well be out of ammo before the end of A phase, and then nothing left for it. So in comes, is that artillery or is that IG shells? Or is it perhaps just shots coming in from the SBW 233s? It looks like... Yes, it is artillery. If we zoom out, Gnef has the K532 French 220mm in the back. And we did miss that being called in. But yeah, the artillery, as predicted in Twitch chat, is coming in to try and hound that IS-2 and just force it back. Herr is actually investing in a second one into the exact same position, so surprising he's maybe not, you know, bringing it into a different position, maybe a little bit further north to give him a different angle on some of the, you know, vehicles. So at least he's got two angles, but he's bringing the second one into the same position, although the first one will need to reverse. It will need to be fixed up, and it is low on ammunition now, so may also need to resupply as well. We've got the Stross Troop advancing forwards, as well as the 233s and the Stug 3G, but it looks like Gnef is pushing back into the north, although Herr now has the M42 and the F22 artillery piece set up in the tree line. It's currently coming in to attack the 233s with the indirect fire, but actually it can be used in a direct fire role as almost an anti-tank piece, or certainly a mainline support gun as such. So yeah, interesting to see those used in that manner, and should now continuing to fire further south, but hopefully, you know, once that order's finished, it will then start opening up on the Ersatztruppen and stop this push coming in. But Gnef is fantastic little push. He's got the Ersatztruppen in front, supported by the SDKFZ 258, as well as the IG-18 slowly making its way up to take out the F-22. The Pak-40 also supporting with its HE shells, and Gnef is slowly pushing into this sort of northern central compound. He's just hanging on to the flag in the centre, and he's now got a 16-8, and he will win the game in just 8 minutes time. So Herr, he's gonna have to pull something out of the bag at this point. The IS-2s engaging the Stugs, but the 233s are very close by. Surely those IS-2s will easily take out the Stugs, and the Zhukov being engaged by the Me-109, as well as all the flat guns that Gnef has brought in so far. And my feeling is this Zhukov's going to go down once this Me-109 gets back onto the rear of that Zhukov. Surely it's going down. Look at the way he's turning into make chase, and it goes down before he gets a chance to get on. So the flak 38 20mm do the job, and the Me-109 is probably going to reverse out of there now. Reverse out, or yeah, evac out of there. The artillery from Gnef at the rear still coming in on these F-22s, and look at the way he's using these SPW 233s. I wonder whether he's trying to get them close. I'm surprised they're so close and yet cannot be seen. I wonder whether he's attempting to get the fallbacks onto these IS-2s and then quickly move these SPW 233s in for a surrender. But the IS-2s are moving forward now, and they will be discovered, but they're now showing side armour potentially to anything that wants to fire it. And in comes the Me-410s. Will they take advantage of these side shots? Look at the way that these SPW 233s have made them through the side shots, and look at that. Fantastic play. Absolutely fantastic play. Let's see whether we can get another second look at that. Here we go. Look at these Me-410s. Look at the way the IS-2s had turned and showed side armour, and then one after the other, bang bang, they go down. Beautiful play by Gnef setting up that run. That was fantastic work. Absolutely fantastic work. So Gnef did push forward the Panzergrenz into this southern compound, and the supporting pioneers will probably allow him to pick up that flag. The M42 gun is surrounded, and the advancing Panzergrenz probably will discover them. Potentially they'll move through the forest without discovering that M42 gun. But the Pak-40 also engaging the Strelky. In comes the satchel charges, and down the Strelky will go. As soon as, yes, there goes the surrender. And although the T-34s, you know, they don't have to concern themselves with the pioneers, but certainly Herr doesn't want pioneers running through, you know, running by his tanks unopposed. And potentially the Panzergrenz could come in with the Panzerfaust, certainly with the reinforcing infantry coming in there. So they're taking up position in that building, and it'd be interesting, the Sapere, will they unload in time before this Panzerfaust comes in? If the Sapere go down, then that's another infantry unit taken out. No, so they do just unload in time. Herr will know those Panzergrenz are there, and so will no longer push forward. Or at least I hope he will no longer push forward these T-34-76ers. Yeah, it's better to go further north through the open field, but the blow of losing those IS-2s, a massive points investment. We have another one a bit further up in that sort of northern central area, but Herr really pegged back at the moment. 17-7. He is losing the game, and will lose in under 5 minutes time, almost 4 minutes time now. So he has to start the attack. We're midway through B phase and he's not got much of a point advantage right now. So yeah, he really has to push forwards. But in the face of Gnef's continuing onslaught, this is going to be real difficult. The T-34s, they have managed to get rid of the Panzergrens. That must have been the Sapri that did that job, but yeah, they're right up close to these Pioneers, and there's the Pack 3850 engaging them. Some of the Twitch chat are counting Herr out at this point. They don't think he's got enough time left. Potentially, if he can stabilise one flag after another, potentially he might just get into this, but 3 minutes left on the clock. It feels like the writing is on the wall, and Gnef's pouring more and more troops in, and it's just going to delay any further attacks forward from Herr. I think those 2 IS-2s went down were pretty key. A big investment into a 4th IS-2 into that centre ground, but I don't even think will it even get to the front in time? Another flag goes down, back to a 17-7, 3 minutes left on the clock. If Herr pulls this back, it will certainly be a fantastic game to watch, but I'm in agreement now. I'm thinking potentially this one could well be over. The Cobra comes in with a strike onto the Panzergrens, but nothing there to really follow that up and get the surrender. The Cobra still into play, may come in for further strafing runs. The ME-410 now targeting the IS-2 in the north. The T-34 goes down, crew killed, and the ME-410 looks like it's coming in again with the side shots. Down goes another IS-2. Beautiful play. Gnef is really using those ME-410s fantastically well. We saw him tackle with that first IS-2 3 runs head on, and he didn't make any progress whatsoever, but he's learnt from his mistakes, and the last 3 ME-410s that have come in, they've all targeted the side armour of the IS-2s, and nothing is invulnerable from the side. Not even the King Tigers. So yeah, the IS-2s, they certainly can be taken out, and it's just a matter of using skill to get those shots in. We've got 1 minute 45 left on the clock. The 4th IS-2 is taking quite a lot of damage as well, and in comes another 410 coming for another attack run. But this time it's frontally, and as we see, frontally doesn't do as much damage. In comes the Cobra to try and take out that ME-410. And it does go down to the Zenart 37mm guns in the back, but Herr, the IS-2's falling back. His kind of mainline attacking weapons are not doing the job for him right now. He's pushing forward to Strelky, trying to recover another flag, and potentially, you know, that brings it back to the 16-8. There we go. If he can recover another flag in the centre, he might be back to a 15-9, but he's still got a lot of work to do. The Pack 40 being strafed by the Zhukov. More infantry coming through. He could potentially target this southern compound. You know, that could take him back to the 14-10, but he's only got 40 seconds on the clock, and the Strelky won't make it in time. We've got left a battle between the ME-109 and the Cobra. Down goes the Cobra, and Gnef, what a fantastic display. Will he pick up a further flag up in this northern central compound? But really, Gnef winning the day. Just 15 seconds left on the clock, and wow, a short game, but fantastic work by Gnef. And the IS-2s from Herr, they really didn't do the job for him. You know, he brought those IS-2s in early, and if he could have kept hold of them on the field and had them in positions to affect the game more, potentially he could have, you know, come away with a better result. But yeah, Gnef played that really well, really very well. So congratulations to Gnef. Victory over Herr in 20 minutes and 8 seconds. Let's have a look at the team stats. So Gnef gets 2,100 kills to 1,250 losses, and for a very short game, that is quite a big difference in kills to loss ratio. So Gnef doing exceptionally well there. Let's have a look at some of the let's have a look at some of the kills for Gnef first of all. And early on, the Flammenwerfers did a great job. I mean, Flammenwerfer versus Ognamachiki, obviously, you know, they're pretty evenly matched. But for the Flammenwerfer to take out the Ognamachiki and a Sapri unit, you'd normally expect the Sapri to take out the Flammenwerfer. So, nice little job there, nice little result. And the SDKFZ 25010s did an excellent job, taking out the 52P and the M42. And those SDKFZ 25010s, they held back fairly well. Gnef held them back in the early game, but Froblord on the Twitch chat, he did notice that, and he picked out a couple of the M42 guns that were waiting for, Gnef to commit forward those light recon vehicles, but Gnef waited until it was the right time. He didn't just rush in with everything all at once, get picked off quite quickly by the M42 guns. He waited until he knew the position of those guns and could really, take out those guns, and then he pushed forward with all his lighter recon vehicles, and I think that really helped him out. The Panzergren with the Panzerfaust doing a fantastic job taking out 3 Sapri units. Excellent work there. What else have we got? We've got the ME410 Leonhard taking out 2 IS-2s. Exceptional work, those ME410 strikes. And potentially we missed one further up as well. But yeah, Gnef really used those ME410s really well. Let's have a quick look at his losses. So the IS-2 did take out quite a few of those light recon units, but doesn't really pay itself off. 3 light recon vehicles, a Strasstruppen and an Ersatztruppen. It doesn't pay itself off, and I think that's where Gnef did very well. He limited, look at the second IS-2, 1 SPW 233, the third one an SDKFZ 258, Pak 49 RJ18. I mean, this one did a lot better. Probably maybe just paid itself off, but in terms of impact on the game, no, I don't think those IS-2s, they didn't have the impact that Herr was wishing. And look at this fourth one, 1 SPW 231. So I think if you'd have seen that sort of kill list at the end of the game for those IS-2s, you would definitely have given the game to Gnef, because those IS-2s are expensive, and if you bring them out and they don't perform, then really the value game today was won by Gnef, and certainly he displayed that victory very well. Right, well, this was recorded live on Twitch. Thanks for all the Twitch viewers for joining me. We will come across to you in a second and have a quick chat about the game, and we will load up another one, and then we'll do the same after that. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks very much for joining me. If you enjoyed this, throw me down a like. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. But if you do watch on YouTube and you want to visit me on Twitch, have a look in the description. All my links are in there, and we are now streaming on Twitch, so come join us, and we'll have some fun times on Twitch. So we stream Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday night is Monday Night Casts. Come join me on Monday night for more Steel Division 2 League casts. Thanks very much for joining me. I am AngryBird. I will see you next time.